Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I have this video in Spanish if that's something that you prefer watching, or you go ahead and watch this one. I'll go ahead and explain to you an experience that we had rescuing two kittens or teenagers from the street of Los Angeles, right? That we have this huge problem of overpopulation. So here we go. So it started last year in December. You won't see it here, but it was pouring during those days. We went a couple of days to try to trap them. So we went ahead and we trapped, and we were successful in trapping Casper. Casper, you would not expect him to be this docile or friendly as he is. And you could tell right here, I mean, he was just screaming, "Please love me." A lot of times these pets are in the street and all they need is someone to care for them and give them a second chance. So that's what we were trying to do. We went ahead and we put him in a cage because we weren't sure if his behavior would continue to be this friendly. As you could see, he was getting more comfortable. He was just like a love ball. However, we knew that there was another of his siblings, and here it is. We named her Claire because the street's name is Claire. Claire was a little bit more hesitant to that human contact. We don't know what these cats are going through in the street. We don't know what kind of trauma, if they're fighting for food, diseases. We don't know. So it's expected that she would be this way. So what we try to do is give her that second chance, like I said. And what you want to do when you have a pet like this is, of course, feed him or her only through a spoon and only when there's a human around, meaning you want to go ahead and associate that human touch with food and pleasure. Here we went ahead and we continue petting and working with Casper. He was very curious, playful, friendly. We went ahead and showered him because, as you could imagine, they were covered in fleas. What we did is that we also got a bigger cage to be surrounding the other two smaller cages, just to make sure that they wouldn't run away and hide, right? At the same time that we were working with Casper, his sister was obviously there and she was observing and watching. We wanted her to see that even though she was scared, his brother was being petted, he was being socialized, he was playing, fed, and nothing bad was happening. We wanted her to make sure that she felt safe and get to that point where his brother was at. So we continued with the feeding. The next step was to see if we could go ahead and open the cage and feed her now. First you try with a spoon. You try to pet them if you can. Try with your finger. You don't want to overwhelm them, of course. What we did is then you go ahead and you try to feed them with your open hand and see if you could pet them. And as you could see, Claire, thank God, was accepting food from my sister's hand, and so she now is a little bit more closer, right? Like a little bit more intimate, and has her finger. Now you could see how my sister was petting her, and at some moments you could see her and you could feel her and you could hear her purring as well. As you could see, she was still a little bit hesitant, but even when it came to like her sleeping patterns or the way that she was sleeping was a little bit more comfortable. You could see her here, even her body position, right, was more open. Even the way that she was breathing was more relaxed. And I think that's could also be applied to children and to adults, right? When you feel more comfortable, you just feel more free. As you could see here, Casper, he was stretching and just being the love boy or joy that he still currently is. We went ahead and we continued to work with Claire. What we want to go ahead and point out is that it's difficult to socialize a cat, right? It's not something that happens in hours or days. It takes every human being, like every child, every animal is different. We learn, we adjust, and we recuperate differently. And here we could see how Claire is responding very in a positive way. She's eating. She's not hissing anymore, as you remember the first time. Now my sister is able to pick her up. He's massaging her a little bit, petting her a little bit, and you'll see right now that she feels even more comfortable as time has passed by and you spend more hours with her, trying to socialize her, that she even came out of her cage. You want to continue doing that. You want to continue petting the pet, making them feel comfortable. As you can see, she's still a little bit hesitant, so she'll go back in her cage, right, where she feels more comfortable. But as you will see now, everything is at her terms. Everything is at their terms. How things should be, right? We don't want to pressure anyone into doing something they don't want to or they're not ready, and set them back even more back, right? And have to start from the beginning again. So here we go. You can see her eating. She's also hungry, which is a good thing, right? We want them to not to lose. That's a good sign once they have that appetite. I have seen other cats that they're so scared that they won't eat, or I'm sure that you've seen other cats that if you work with cats before, or seen videos of cats from the street or that have been rescued. Sometimes they even go to the sand, right? They'll stay in the sand. We want to make them feel comfortable. As you can see, my sister even gave her a kiss, so she's doing just great. At this moment, I kept asking and looking for other rescue groups that could take them in. A lot of times we think that the shelters will take in the cats and find them a home, but that doesn't always happen. Here we are. So I was able to find a rescue group where they were taken, they were bedded, dewormed, given medication for the fleas too, a whole physical, right? And here they are. I want to go ahead and encourage you to give a pet from the street a second chance. If you could socialize them, go ahead and try it. If you need help in any way and I could help you, go ahead and contact me. If you need any resources or I could put you in contact with someone that could maybe do the same thing that I do, either be working with a group or be a solo trapper like myself. But if I could assist you, go ahead and contact me. I work by myself with my sister, so we don't get that assistance from anybody else, right? A lot of times the shelters will, obviously put them to sleep. There's so many in the street. Just please neuter them, spay them, so they won't have to suffer in the street. Luckily, these two had a second chance, but many more don't. Just consider adopting a pet and giving them a second chance. Thank you.